Hello developers, in this video we're talking about database authentication. This video will show you how to implement authentication and authorization for your MaskAPI project APIs, not APIs or the MaskAPI itself, but rather your project APIs, which is crucial for security. Let's move forward. Authentication and private endpoints. So for this, you can secure the access to your APIs by configuring authentication to control who can access your APIs and protect sensitive data. So you can enable authentication for your API and you can configure authentication and manage users and their tokens. Prevent unauthorized access. Problem we have, let's assume that we have an app and our app is already has users stored in it and the sensitive endpoints needs protection and there is no authentication layer in place and building auth logic from scratch is complex. The solution is simple. Use MaskAPI authentication to authenticate directly on top of your database and define all of those and protect private routes without building a custom auth service. Manage validation and access control all in one place. First, we have register, which allows the user to create an account by validating their input hash and prepare users for authentication access. Second is login. Login is so simple. You can verify users' credentials and issue an access token for protected routes. You can check and store credentials and generate tokens and you can enable access. Finally, we have logouts. Simple. Invalidate the user's sessions or token to prevent further access. You can revoke, protect, and maintain secure sessions control, okay? Now, the steps are so easy. You need to create a project. You need to connect your database. You need to configure your project authentication. So you already know in the past video, we made a simple app, and now we're going to secure our APIs. First, we go to the settings tab. So first thing, and this is important, is to see your connected database URL, which is important. Then you create your auth configuration from here. So let's name it main users. Here you have your access token secret. You can regenerate this at any time you want, and you can see it from here. So after that, you have your authentication ID. This is an identifier for the auth config. Okay, you must use it for this endpoints. Now, access tokens expiry, and this is set by minutes. For example, if we have a 0 in it, if the value is 0, which is the default value, this means that there's no auth expiry for it. For example, we made it like 5. 5 means 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, the token will expire. Now let's set this to its default 0. Okay. This is the database table configuration. So to configure your database table and columns used for authentication, in this case, we have made the users table and we named it users. Here we have credential columns. This is used for user identification. In this case, we're going to use email. Now you have your password column, which is set to password by default, which everybody uses, I think, okay? Let's create our first configuration. But first, let's check out the authentication. As you can see, we have login configuration and we can edit or keep it as it is. I suggest that you keep it as it is. You can play with it because we already have built this template for you. And the second thing we made for you is this sign up configurations. So same as the last one, we have made the code template for you. You can keep this as it is because it's great. It's very great, actually. Now, the last thing is that we have the required authentication APIs. From here, we have the ability to choose simply by just check this box over here and the APIs we want to secure. Now, we create configuration. For further help, you can go to the API examples. You have examples for everything like login, sign up, refresh, token here by simply reading this. Now let's continue. Let's save our changes. Project setting updated successfully. Now for testing and using our authentication, we need to go to authentication and first we need to start with sign up. Simply, we can copy the endpoint URL from here and move to Postman or whatever service you use and paste it here. Now, I'm going to change it to post. We write our MaskAPI key, which is located here. Another thing, now we need to use the header we mentioned in the configuration. This is the auth header. Let's copy it from here, paste, as a key. Great. Now let's go to the value again. Paste it here. Great. Now we have all things set up. Let's move to the body itself. I've already made it. It's so simple. We have the credentials. So we have chosen the email. Now we need to write our example email and our example password. And we need to confirm the password as you can see here. Now let's send this. Great. As you can see, it returned here. Now let's move to the login endpoint. Let's go back to the project authentication. Now let's copy the same URL, but this time for the login. Paste it here and change from get to post. Great. Now same as the last one, everything is the same. You already know from where you find your project key. Let's bulk edit this and click enter. Great. Now let's set up the JSON body. As you can see, we need only to remove the configuration password and keep everything else the same. Great. Now let's send and test this. Great. Now our login is working perfectly. Now let's implement this. We're going to settings, main users. Let's turn this on. So if you turn this on, only the users that have access will be able to use this API. Now let's move to Postman and see. Let's create a new endpoint from here. We will name it to do the same as our app name. Now we're going to test it without authentication barriers. So let's send this. As you can see, it's an error, so we can't authenticate this without setting the keys that we need. As you can see, it turned to be unauthorized because we did not even log in. So first, we must log in or sign up. We go to authorization. We need to set this up as a barrier token and paste it here. Nice. All set. Let's test here. Great. Now our authentication is live and working. Thank you for your time, and please explore MaskAPI and start testing today. www.maskapi.dev